What is happening, everybody, and welcome. This is episode number 83 of RizzoCast. I'm Steven Risotto, and today we are joined by none other than the host of the Loaded Bases podcast. It is Mason Hall who joins us here. Mason, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Just watching this Dodger comeback where it's gonna happen. But yeah, no, thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. I'm glad you're here, and we're going to get into a few things, and postseason is one of them. And
Yes,
I'm
sir.
watching it too. I have it on kind of up here on my TV. Dodgers just took a 3-2 lead. Um, where do you see this series going? Because I'll give you my opinion here. I think LA is too good of a team to not make this go 7 games, and the baseball fan
Yep.
in me really wants it to go 7 games. But meanwhile, the Braves have played such good baseball at the right time.
Yeah.
Max Fried on the mound. They've got some really good outfield pieces at the trading deadline. Where do you kind of see this series going?
Like for me, because my team's not in the
Mhm.
playoffs, but honestly, I just want 7 games. I like as a fan, like I just want to see 7 good games. But dude, it's tough. It's it's kind of I don't want to see the Dodgers in the World Series again, but only if the Astros win on the AL side, then I want Astros Dodgers just for the drama. But
That would be
dude,
dramatic.
honestly, it can go any way for me, and I'm a happy guy.
No, absolutely. What about the AL series? Because I feel like a lot of people are rooting against Houston, and I get it. You know,
Yeah,
it's something that happened a few years ago with the cheating scandal, and it makes sense why people would not want to root for the Houston Astros, and they like kind of the story about the Red Sox on how they were probably the sleeper out of both leagues. Nobody thought the
yep,
Red Sox would be, they thought they would run out of pitching, but it hasn't happened. Their bats have come
yeah.
alive. So I mean, that series is absolutely nuts.
It's the Red Sox can't close. That's the issue right now. But dude, I would pick the Red Sox. Over the Astros just because I don't really like the Astros for the whole a cheating scandal. But it's dude, 7 games. That's all I want. 7 good games.
I was thinking about this. When is the grace period like? When, or I guess not grace period, but when is like the period of when the Astros are finished to be hated? If that makes sense. Like
Uh,
when does that like start? Does it start when Altuve and Correa and everybody else there is gone, or like how do we determine when the Astros are like normal again?
it, it then follows along with them. It's like the Barry Bonds thing.
Mhm.
Because you get the people like who are like, oh well, like you still have to hit the ball, but yeah, he cheated, and then like the Pete Rose thing, like it. I do not think that will ever let down.
Mhm.
Honestly,
So is I saw your tweet the other day. Altuve, is he a Hall of Famer? Or like, I mean, because I know you mentioned that that's
oh
going to
yeah,
follow
yeah,
him
yeah,
around.
exactly. Dude. If I swear to you, if they put Altuve in the Hall of Fame before Barry Bonds or Pete Rose, I will. I'll be pissed. There's no way.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. I don't know how much it hurts him because they said that he didn't use the buzzer, but like, what can we believe at this point? So, um, you know,
His splits between home and away,
there you go.
dude. He was batting over 400 at home,
Hmm.
like in 2017, and won the MVP.
Yeah, I mean, we'll never know. We'll never know how much they actually hurt him or helped him, and that's the crazy thing about it. And that's why this
Oh,
Astros team
exactly.
is so kind of disgraced in a way. And um, I actually just had an Astros pitcher who's not on the playoff roster. Ken Emmanuel came on, and we
Hmm.
talked about that, and he said that it's kind of extra motivation. But
Yeah,
for most of the guys, they weren't even on that team, so it is kind of interesting,
yeah,
and
true.
it's good to see Dusty Baker, um, do
Yeah,
well because
yeah.
he got put in a tough spot.
That that would be hard. That would be hard to be put on a roster where like you will get shit across the whole
Hmm.
entire MLB. And like every single game that you go to, dude, like fans are gonna be ruthless.
No, yeah, not fun. Not fun at all. I can't imagine it would be. Do you feel like these playoff games are too long? I mean, everybody's so caught up in the timing in baseball, and I understand why baseball doesn't have a clock. It's the best sport because of
Mm-hmm.
that, in my opinion. And things
Yeah,
happen.
100%.
Yeah, things happen throughout that time, and there's no rushing involved. But I will say that it is not attractive to the human eye when games are going, 4 hours long. Um, I don't know what could be changed that would like not mess up the integrity of the game, but like,
True.
is it alarming to you that these games are kind of going so long, or are you just kind of,
I
more baseball?
do more baseball.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, like I I feel, and then like that I see like on Twitter, and then like and then pretty much like all social media, it's almost all the guys from the East Coast who are complaining about the games being too long because they have to stay up till midnight. But then like us, like on the West Coast, we stay up till 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that that's probably like a big reason like for it. But I mean, let's see, in 2018, I sat through a 18 inning game. It was Cubs at Marlins, 18 innings, and I liked every single pitch and inning from that. I just like baseball. I mean, that's my that's my thing. But I don't know. I mean, I do like the runner on second base for regular season,
Mm-hmm.
like for extra innings, but the postseason, you can't do that.
I'm mixed. So so for in terms of timing, like I really like the
Yeah.
runner at second, and I think that it is exciting. People say it's not exciting, and it's not, organic. It's not the way baseball should be played. But I feel like if you don't execute in that inning,
Oh yeah, correct.
that's on you. I mean, you have to execute. You have to you have to play small ball
Yeah.
in order to win in extra innings. And if you're the away team, you're playing for a few runs in that situation, not just one. So that's kind of why we haven't seen the bunting. But I would agree with you, but I feel like there should also, it would be interesting if teams had like I'm thinking about this right now and I haven't thought it through, but I'm going to say it anyways.
Say it.
What if like teams had the option before a series to pick what they do? Like, okay,
Hmm.
we have mutually decided to play with runners at second base to start extras, or we've mutually decided against it. Like, I mean, that would be interesting, maybe.
Yeah. But then what if they disagree and the one says yes and one says no?
Yeah,
I mean,
scrap that idea.
then what do you do?
Scrap that idea.
But no,
'cause-
honestly, I think like I see where you're going with it.
Mhm.
It there probably is ways that you could make the playoffs interesting like that. But dude, I don't know. That would be
Mhm.
it would be
I like the
fun.
pitch clock. I like the pitch clock. I might be in the minority there, but I like the pitch clock because I like the rhythm of it. I like
Yeah.
the rhythm it
Yeah.
brings, and they tested out like 15 seconds or 20 seconds in low A this season. And games got cut like by 30 minutes, and the players loved it. They loved,
Yeah.
getting back earlier, and they loved the flow of the game. Postseason, I don't know, because postseason we like the dramatic moments, we like the waiting,
Yeah, exactly.
we like the waiting for, in between pitches. So I don't know how that would work, but I mean, yeah, no, it's definitely, pace of play is definitely an interesting topic for sure.
100%.
Who do you like in terms of, or not who do you like? I already asked who you like in the postseason. That was going to be the next thing I said, but I want to
Well, I
talk a
can
little.
tell you,
Yeah,
because I can tell you that all of my picks to make it to the World Series are out. I can
who were
say
your
that one.
picks?
Giants and Tampa Bay.
Giants and Tampa Bay. That would have been a really, really interesting World Series. I picked Tampa Bay
Yes.
to go all the way as well in the American. I picked them before the season and also at the beginning of the postseason to go all the way. I thought their pitching was amazing. And
Yeah.
whenever I think of their pitching staff, I always think of Kerry Crowley of the Bay Area news group who covers the Giants. He always says they have a bunch of guys. They just have a bunch of guys. Like they're not
Studs.
labeled starters or
Yep.
relievers. They just have guys. So
Yes.
and their
A
lineup's
bunch of-
good.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Giants. I mean, that was definitely a heartbreaker. I think it's still hurting a lot of
That
people here in San Francisco for
that's a
sure.
sensitive topic.
It is a sensitive topic. They're not happy with the offense right now for scoring like 10 runs in 5 games, but
Yeah.
and also the check swing is a big topic around here. So um, a big,
Yep.
big topic around here. What did you think about that, by the way? Were you watching that live?
Dude. Yeah, I was pissed.
Mm-hmm.
I was I was mad. But like that also it's like do you think that that play could be reviewed like in postseason only? I mean like if that was I guess like the new implemented idea.
It would have to be super like they should not be able to they should not have to go to headsets for that. They should have and they should have something in their ear, to be completely honest with you. They should have an earpiece. The umpire should have a mic. Every sport has it. Why doesn't baseball have it? And they should be able to
That is
explain
true.
some of this stuff instead of, getting off the headset and going out or safe,
Yeah.
So they should be able to explain what's going on. As for check swings, probably not. I mean, every check swing would get a little bit too, that would be too much to challenge every check swing. I feel like people would
Yeah.
abuse that power. But in a big spot like that, I mean, that cannot be ruled a swing. Um, man, that cannot be ruled a swing. I mean, it
Nope.
just there's no other way to put it, especially to end the game. And I think that's more of a. I feel like even if he did swing just a little bit, you can't end the game like that. You just
No.
can't. You can't
Uh-uh.
end the game like that.
It's sad. It was sad.
107 games won, 109 games won overall, and that's how the and it's funny because a lot of Dodger fans, have mentioned that because when the Giants and Dodgers played each other in LA earlier in the year, Darren Ruff took like a full hack and they said he did not go.
Yep. Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
extended the game, and the Giants ended up coming from behind and winning that game. And the Dodgers feel like that costed them the division. But what I would
Hey.
say to that is Cody Bellinger airmailed a throw down the right field
Yep.
line. Do you remember that in
Yes.
like late
Yes.
July? And that
It was
costed the
bad.
Dodgers. It was bad. So I mean, baseball's like that. I mean, anything could happen, and that's why we like it. That's why we
That's
like
what I'm saying.
baseball.
It, it's a very fair sport.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 3 outs, switch, 3 outs, switch. But just those small, tiny moments can change a whole season.
Especially if things don't go your way. That's the
Oh,
fun part
exactly.
about it. So
And
there's some
then the
karma involved.
excuses come out.
Yeah, exactly. Then the excuses come out. I want to talk about the Cubs with you for a second
Yeah,
here.
dude.
They are your team. I know you're a Pacific Northwest guy up there in Washington.
Yep.
So my question for you, and you're probably asked this a good amount of time, how did you become a Cubs fan? How does that even work?
So okay, so my grandma's side of the family, so they're from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And so they grew up there and they would ride the L like to Wrigley and they would go to the games. So so then I mean like my baby blanket was a Cubs blanket from her. So it was just like a boom, like I had no choice. So it was just like, you're a Cubs fan. I'm like, oh, okay, like that works. So that's kind of like how that whole thing started. But then like summer of because I was little, I was like 5, and that was when it's like with Sosa and McGuire, like for that whole thing, and then like we would watch the games, and that kind of like sparked like, okay, like I like this, and then it just went on, and dude, the Cubs ruled the house, and still does.
Kerry Wood, got to grow up watching Kerry Wood and Mark Pryor
Yep.
pitch, and then
Yep.
the 2016 days when they won their first championship.
Yes.
When they traded those guys, Bryant, Rizzo,
Oof.
Baez, to some degree, Craig Kimbrell, although he hasn't really worked out in with the White Sox across
Yeah.
town, but more so on those three guys, Bryant, Rizzo, and Baez. What was kind of the reaction of a Cubs fan? Was it like, did you come to terms with it? Like, did you know it was coming? the Cubs were having a down year. Everybody knew even before the season they would either be players at the deadline or not.
Mhm.
Was it kind of expected?
Once the Cubs lost the 11 games in a row going into the All-Star break, that was kind of like, well, the season just turned. But then, I mean, like, we kind of knew that, I mean, Bryant was getting looked at for sure. And I mean, Kimbrel for sure. But honestly, like, I just thought that Bryant was going to be the one to leave. But then it was on that Thursday when all of a sudden, I mean, because you see tweets like that the Red Sox are talking to Rizzo, and I was like, like, that's okay. I mean, because he played for them. So just like, you know what? Like it's all right. But I don't think it's gonna happen. But then boom, the Yankees pull the trigger, get Rizzo, and then we find out that the Cubs are still paying for him while he goes to New York. So it's like, no way did that just happen. And then like that right there was probably like, dude, like I'm telling you, like that was like taking a dagger to the chest, and you're just like, okay, well, life sucks. So then the next day comes around, and then I mean, Kimbrel gone, like, okay, whatever. And then the whole like we knew that Bryant was leaving, but it was kind of not like it was, I don't know, like it wasn't real life.
It was still a gut punch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So then that same dagger in, and then Bryant traded, and that dagger just turned. And then all of a sudden, like last second, Javi goes to New York, like for the Mets, and it was just like, what the fuck just happened? And then it was just sad. It was a very, very sad, dude. Like I can tell you, like, dude, I didn't want to talk to anyone. It was bad. But I mean, yeah, like I've definitely came to terms on that one, but it's and that's why I wanted the Giants to go all the way, is so Brian can get another ring. So that's kind of, I mean, but they're all free agents now. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, we'll see. I didn't expect Rizzo to go either.
Yeah,
I thought that he would be, if anything, like the guy that they extend possibly.
exactly. Yeah.
But I mean, New York obviously needed left-handed hitters, and they got Gallo, they got Rizzo, they helped a little bit. And Baez went to a place where, he fit in. He had his best friend he was playing besides, Francisco Lindor.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Bryant went to a winning team on the West Coast where, he's a Vegas kid. He went to college in San Diego. I mean, it was a great fit for him. And I was actually there. I covered the first game that Bryant played on a Sunday
Oh,
afternoon.
really? Oh, wow.
And I don't think I've ever seen any day anticipated for just one person. Like all the attention. I've never seen anybody be so focused on one person and one person only. I was thinking to myself, I was like, I don't think the Giants media has ever like followed anything like this since like when Barry Bonds was chasing the home run record.
True. Yeah.
I mean, this is like so much focus. Everything was Bryant. He's got the picture on the scoreboard. Welcome, Chris Bryant. We're talking to him in the dugout. I mean, everybody's super pumped that Chris Bryant is in San Francisco, and he seems genuinely happy. And it was a great fit. He had a great. He was pretty good with them down the stretch. Even better in the division series against the Dodgers.
Yeah.
And we'll see if the Giants pull the trigger and re-sign him. I know that Bryant and Scott Boras are expecting a lot of suitors from what I've heard. So we'll have to see what happens there.
Boras is a money guy, and I think Bryant deserves the money. So it's kind of, I mean, I wouldn't be upset if he went back to San Fran.
They're all going to get paid. They're all going to get paid.
Exactly. So, I mean, no matter where he goes, I just hope no one goes to the Yankees. That's my or St. Louis. So
St. Louis, yeah, division rival. Now with that, where do you stand on the Cubs outlook for next year? Obviously, they're in some kind of rebuilding stage. What are you looking at in terms of next year, win projections, storylines? What are we looking for the 2022 Chicago Cubs?
Honestly, I have actually not really thought about that yet. I'm just still like, it's just like, I don't know like what's gonna happen. But I mean, like with like Patrick Wisdom and Frank Schwindel just coming out, like
Frank
just
the Tank.
dude, that's what I'm saying. Him and then um Ian Happ is still like hitting amazing. It's just, dude, honestly, anything can happen right now, but I don't think that they should just go all out like this offseason. Um, I mean, they did like they traded for prospects. So I believe that they should do exactly like what they did before and build those prospects up. I mean, like the minor leagues, and then just bring them up and see what happens, and then see like what holes to fill. I mean, like from there. I mean, because they just signed a new GM, so I'm kind of interested to see like what he does.
Yeah, of course, working under Jed Hoyer, who's been there a while, and he eventually took over for Theo in Chicago.
Yep.
I feel like the Cubs. Do Cubs fans like Matt Duffy? I know that's just a random question, but like in San Francisco, he was so beloved, and he played like 2 years with them, and he finished runner-up in Rookie of the Year, and everybody went nuts, and everybody got mad that Matt Duffy was traded. And I was thinking in my head, I was like, it's the craziest thing that people are so upset that Matt Duffy was traded. And then he had some injury years in Tampa Bay, and he's signed a few minor league contracts, and here he is in Chicago, and apparently he's playing pretty well.
I like him. I mean, he reminds me kind of like, so my favorite most underrated player, Tommy LaStella. I love that guy. Like it's like I like Duffy off the bench. That's kind of like how I see him. And that's how I do. Like I loved Tommy LaStella off the bench. Dude, just come in and rake.
Make contact too.
That's what I'm saying.
And LaStella,
That's
another
how,
San
yeah.
Francisco guy.
Yes, sir.
So you have some Giants ties too. I see you. I see you working.
Hey. Oh yeah.
And you also have ties. I mentioned earlier you're a Washington guy. Have you gotten to a lot of Mariners games this year? Because I mean, that was another fun team to watch, and I know
Yeah.
being in the area, you probably pay attention to them too, huh?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. I so before the season, I had Dave Sims on my podcast. He is their TV broadcaster. And I mean, because we talked for hours, and like he was super excited about the season. And I mean, he kind of like inspired me to like watch them more. I mean, like for this year, because dude, they have like, it's like their farm system and their young guys are absolute studs. And dude, it's I mean, like I'm excited to see like what they do. I mean, like for next year. It was I went to probably I went to I think probably about like 6 or 7 games this year, I believe. And then I went to the last series when they played the Angels, and
That was
that
a
was
good one.
the they gave out everyone in the stadium. We all got like the yellow believe signs, and it was fun. It was a crazy time.
That was
Crazy
the
time.
Jared Walsh home run series where he hit a home
Oh,
run
that
and
was
put the
sad.
dagger into the I'm going to bring up your dagger point. I'm going to use it. Put the
Yep.
dagger in the Mariners. So I remember that series. That was when the whole wild card thing was going haywire. Nobody knew what to do.
Oh yeah. I had no idea like what to watch, like what to. I'm just like, I'm just gonna watch these like 4 teams and see what happens.
Game 162. That was insane. Insane.
Yeah.
Quite the insane day. I want to get into your podcast here. Tell me a little bit about it. I mentioned it earlier, the Bases Loaded podcast. When did you start it? How did you start it? And what can we expect while listening?
So for the podcast, so in 2020, kind of like what you said earlier. I mean, so like off air, it was so once baseball ended, like for spring training, I had no idea what to do, and baseball's always been there for me. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna bring baseball to me. So I I literally just like hopped on YouTube and I was like, how do you start a podcast? And then I just bought, let's see, like I bought this mic for like $40, and now here we are. But yeah, no, like, so I found like my target like audience, and then like what I like to talk about. And I like to like feature guys like from like the minor leagues, and I like to talk about like their journeys and all that stuff to like where they are today. And I mean, like, to talk to like players, coaches, like media guys. I mean, like, you name it. I mean, it's pretty much everyone and anyone in baseball. Be- But like, but honestly, like, we don't talk about like what happens on the field. It's all like, how did they get there? I mean, because everyone has their own unique stories, and you can hear some crazy stuff, especially down in the minor leagues, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I've had some people from the minor league level come on too, and the one that sticks out to me is Colin Thoreau, who is a catcher for the Oakland A's. He's in the A's minor league system. Few others too, but no, the minor league players, they do have some great stories, and they're
Yeah.
accessible. And you probably, found out about that too.
Yep. Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, we have very similar podcasts, and I think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. So
Yeah. It's always fun to like talk to people like who do this, who are like doing the same thing as you,
mhm.
because because like everything just like flows smooth. I mean, because like the whole like the passion about it, and it's just awesome.
Yeah, and I know I try to get as many guests as I could possibly get, and your show is very guest oriented too. So
Yeah.
definitely keep that up. I'll be listening. And the one thing that you mentioned, minor league players,
Yep.
tell me about what's going on October 25th. So this is actually how I came across your account, and I came across the podcast. So you're doing a stand with minor league baseball, and
Yeah.
everybody's going to kind of retweet a tweet. Or there's some more stuff involved. Tell me what's going on October 25th.
Yeah. So I was actually I was at work, and I mean, like, the whole I think I saw someone tweet something about minor league pay, and I was like, oh, like, I was like, I can hop on that one, because I mean, like I kind of like understand like that whole
Mhm.
stuff. So then I reached so then I texted one of my buddies that works for More Than Baseball. So Jeremy Wolf, so he is the director for them. And then I was like, yo, I have an idea. So at, so we kind of like talked a little bit, and I was like, hey, like, I was like, give me 1 hour, and I will have a whole thing for you to look at. And he just like, all right. So then I came up with this idea that on October 25th, because there is no baseball that day, because that's the day before the World Series. So I was like, you know what? Like, what if somehow the day before the World Series, we can get Twitter to just tweet everything about the minor leagues, and pretty much like all of like, I guess, like, pretty much like all like the negative aspects about it, like the pay, housing, food, just pretty much like all the above. So he was just like, dude, do it. Like, make that happen. So I was like, all right, like, let's do it. So yeah, so on October 25th, trying to flood Twitter with the hashtag stand with MiLB. So we're gonna see what happens. And I mean, it's a shot in the dark, but if somehow it gets big enough, I would love for, like, I guess, like, for the guys like who do the broadcast, like for the World Series, to like mention it, and so then that whole thing comes about. I mean, because the World Series is like the biggest I mean the biggest stage for baseball.
Mhm.
So why not try and use that platform and just do what I can?
Hey, I'll do my part. I already marked the calendar, October 25th.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
retweeting, I'm tweeting, I'm
Yeah,
That will be my I'll do a thread of all the minor league players I've had on the show.
exactly.
That would be no, that's a good plan. I'm
Yeah.
all into.
I
So
so I actually have scheduled tweets like all throughout that day.
oh nice.
So, dude, I mean, it's gonna be like honestly, like if you follow me on Twitter, you're you're probably gonna be like, holy hell, like he has no life. Because like, dude, like it's like every I think it's every 10 minutes I have like I have like a thing that I made, like it's like the black with like the white, like the stand with
Mhm.
MiLB on there, and like it'll post every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes. Yeah, dude, it's gonna be nuts. But I mean, hey, like I mean the more that it gets on there, then I mean like it might pop up like in like the what's happening like for the trending on Twitter, and then therefore people click it and just see like what's about.
Yeah, hopefully it does go viral, man. I'm rooting for
Dude,
you.
we're
And
trying.
one guy that you need to have on, and I have not even had him on, but I was just thinking about this. The best minor league advocate I know is a guy who his name is Matt Paray. I don't know if you've seen him. Matt Paray played in the Giants organization for a few years, and he had a brand called Homeless Minor Leaguer where he kind of
Hmm.
promoted, he had a YouTube channel. I think he's a producer now with some, sports network, but I
Is
was
he the
trying to
one that lived in the van?
that is Daniel Norris. But Matt
Oh,
Paray, I mean, I
close.
wouldn't be shocked, but Matt Paray is a guy who he used to do skits on YouTube, and he actually talked at a Bernie Sanders rally to promote minor league baseball when they
Oh,
took
no
away
way.
all those teams. And he was the one
Oh,
that
wow.
he was the one that spoke at a Vermont rally
Hmm.
on that issue. So Matt Paray, I'll give you his email. He hasn't even come on mine, but he's definitely a great fit for your show. And
Dude, that would be awesome. Yeah,
yeah, no, he's the best
like,
guy to
cause
talk to.
dude, I would love that. I mean, like, cause I've talked to guys like where it's just like, I, I mean, like, cause I've heard stories of, I mean, like guys like sleeping in their cars,
Yeah,
and like you pretty much like have to sacrifice like pretty much your pay. I mean, what was like the average minor leaguer makes $6,800 a year.
stupid.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, but no, like, cause there was the big news that uh that MLB is now I guess pretty much like mandating like that their teams have to provide housing. Like,
Yeah, what do you think about that?
dude, I mean that's one big step, but like I mean it's just the beginning, hopefully. But it's like I mean because I haven't seen anything like on like if they're gonna like rent out like hotels or whatever. But I mean, still, I mean, like if you think about it, see, because I live in a 700 square foot studio apartment, and I pay $700 a month. So let's say that I don't have to pay for that. I can use those. I can use the $700 towards food, which would help me become healthier, and which therefore would, I'm assuming, would make my performance on the field
Mhm.
or like wherever I am better. So I'm excited to see where baseball goes. Like just from that alone.
Yeah, no, guys. I mean, with the pay that they're getting now, I mean, a lot of them are relying on fast food. And as a professional athlete, to
You can't do
succeed,
that.
to get to the next level, you need to be training and eating like an athlete. So, no, you make
Oh,
an excellent
exactly.
point there that they need to be baseball. It's a right step for sure. No, I agree, it's a right step. Um, it's also so expensive. Like this game is just so expensive, and I know I went through it, and I went through. I played with guys that had like three different $400 bats, and my
Yeah.
glove, my
Yeah.
last glove that I got, my junior and senior year, like $350. Like who's gonna pay that much? That's why the inner city kids are not playing
Yep.
baseball. That's why basketball is more accessible and football. It's because baseball's too expensive, and the children in the inner cities are not able to afford it, and it's a
Exactly.
shame. It's a shame. So it's
Yeah.
just
But
too expensive.
it's I mean I mean because then now you got like all of like the select teams, and I mean, it costs like $1,000 to do that, like just so you can get
travel teams. Yeah.
I'm like in front of these coaches because, I mean, everyone's mom and dad like wants their kid to go on and play like professional baseball, but it just, yeah.
And they're annoying
Baseball
about
is
it
expensive.
too.
Dude, I know. You know, because I mean, like I played, I played through, like, so I played college ball, so like that's as far as I went. But like 'cause I've played like all over the country, but it's just like it's fun like for the kids like to go play like in like all these places, but it's just like it's like I could care less if I played in front of a certain coach. Like,
Mhm.
I am just glad that I got to play I and then like have those opportunities.
Yeah. I mean, if you're 6 years old, if your son is
Dude.
6 years old, you should not be thinking about the major leagues. If your son is
Oh, nope.
12 years old, you should not be thinking about college. Okay.
Nope.
Let them be kids. Let them like eat ice cream after games. Let them
That's what I'm saying.
let them play like little pickup game. I used to play pickup games all the time with my friends, and it was just that
Yeah.
was just how it was. And now it's like totally different. Now the only games you see that are being played are tournament baseball. And I did it. I did it in high school, and
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
there's an
I did
emphasis
too.
on and it. I mean, also I think that like tournament baseball takes away from being an athlete because that's usually the time when you should be playing, another sport, maybe like soccer or
Oh,
football or
100%. Yeah.
basketball. I mean, there's so many one trick ponies, and I'm not saying it's bad. I mean, I was one of them. I played baseball and
Yeah.
only baseball, but still, I
I
feel
played
like
like, dude, like I did like every sport like that you can think of. That
all of
was
them.
what I did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're that one guy like just playing golf at like 12.
Dude, I actually my mom put me in golf lessons like when I was like 12.
Oh, so I was close.
Just for but then the golf lessons just didn't make sense in my brain because I was still trying to learn how to swing a bat. So it
Mhm.
was just like it just didn't work out for me. But
Messed up the swing. Yeah, can't have
that's
that.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying.
obviously these kids have to have like priorities but having fun
Yeah,
should be the number one thing, not, you know,
exactly.
looking at a Stanford coach when you're 13 years old. Like that is stupid
Yeah.
and it just shouldn't be done. So,
Nope. Nope.
yeah. That's what I think about that. And speaking of the minor leagues, just to go back there, have you been to how
Yeah.
far are you from Tacoma?
Tacoma is about 2.5 hours. And so
So have
yeah,
you
like
been
the
to a lot of
Rainiers are over there.
Rainiers?
I've been to two. I've only been to two games, but we have the high A Angels team down here. They're about an hour away south. So that's the Tri-Cities Dust Devils.
That's right.
And
Yes.
yeah, and then I actually had two guys on my podcast. They actually played for him. So and then I actually had them like on my podcast before I knew that they were coming here. So yeah, I mean, so that was like the cool part about that one. I mean, like, so I would just like go down there and like hang out with them, and
That's crazy. That's awesome. That's awesome.
yeah,
What did you
yeah.
get to do?
I mean, like, let's see. So, like, so the guys, it was so Spencer Griffin, he was one of them, and also Dre Nelson, and they're both, and they're both from Texas, and they're all, yeah, dude, they're awesome ball players.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I had Eric Young Jr., who's the one of the coaches for the Tacoma Rainiers, and he was
Oh, yep,
great.
yep.
We talked about the minor league level, and he's another good one. And he's probably I could hook you up with him too, Eric Young Jr., former. Whenever I think of it, and this is so unfair, and I mentioned this to him on the podcast. Whenever I think of Eric Young Jr., I think of him stepping on Tim Hudson's ankle.
Ooh,
He was the one that blew out Tim.
yeah.
So that's what I think of when I think of. And I told him I was like, "That's such a shame that people remember you for that." And he was like, "I know, I know, I know." So no, that's pretty interesting. I feel so bad, but
Yeah, no, I mean, like the guys like the minor leagues, like they grind and because they have a goal. So that
mhm.
I mean, that's kind of everyone's goal down there, and they just got to keep on going until they get that call.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100%. Well, anyways, October 24th, October 25th, um,
25th. 25th.
Retweet, guys. Retweet, everybody listening, everybody watching. Retweet, post yourself. I'll be in on it. I'll do my share. And obviously, as we know, Mason will be doing his share.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
definitely. Mason, man, I appreciate you coming on. This was a lot of fun.
Dude, thank you for reaching out. Like, I mean,
It's nice to meet you too.
yeah, dude, like it is awesome to talk to people like who like have the same passion, and dude, like we're just chipping away to make a difference.
100%. And of course, you guys could listen to Loaded Bases podcast. First of all, you could find all the content on loadedbasespodcast.com, Spotify. It's on YouTube. It's on Apple. I mean, basically, it's probably wherever you get your podcast. So yeah, go check it out. Mason's gonna have a lot more content to come.
Yes, sir.
And so is RizzoCast. So stay tuned and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at RizzoCast, and Spotify and YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.